Morning. My name is Lisa Maxwell. It is Monday, April 27th, and I'm doing a tarot reading here for us today. I always say that tarot is absolutely, ooh, these cards are a little weird. Tarot is a commentary, is a artistic depiction of the planetary energies that we have. So if you are working with an astrologer, if you follow any astrologers, definitely check in to see what they have to offer in terms of um, descriptions of what the planetary transits are. I'm taking just a moment to sort of um, organize these cards. We're going to actually use the Gilded Tarot. Um, by Barbara Moore and Ciro Marchetti. We've been using the Dali tarot. And in fact, I mentioned in the comments that the Fool card came up at the bottom of the deck and the King of Cups. And I also want to talk a little bit about, I meditated quite a bit on the butterflies and this Ten of Wands. Yeah, we're at the beginning of a new cycle. There's a tremendous amount of change that's on deck. She's the Queen of Swords came up with that butterfly, and then the Ten of Wands came up with loads of butterflies. But I also noticed just how instead of putting things down, we're taking again, we're taking experience to a different level. So it's not that changes are definitely afoot on a large scale, and we're at the beginning of a new cycle, especially with that Fool card coming up at the bottom of the deck. But see how much is these branches are flourishing. These branches are flourishing, and that's been coming up a lot lately too, about how so much that we've planted, we're seeing the results of that Nine of Pentacles came in the other day. We're just seeing the results of the hard work that we've been putting in. So it's maybe putting down, and with the Queen of Swords coming in yesterday, I also really felt that the Queen of Swords gives us really practical looks at you know this isn't my energy and I don't need to do anything with it. And you can kind of just take that, detached, loving perspective of whatever situation it is. And just, you don't have to, it's like, okay, in order to flourish, I only need to pick up what I need to be picking up. And I need to also recognize what's not mine to pick up. And it's not like it's a problem. It's just like, oh, I need to stand and walk with whoever, walk alongside the situation, and only hold, we can only hold what we can hold, and effectively, and in order to flourish. So that's some of the things. I posted a caregiver's prayer earlier today, so that just came, again, it's like when we take that step back, we are able to gain a better perspective on what it is that we can hold. Maybe I can hold a little bit more for a little bit longer, but making sure that we're doing it for the right reasons. So anyway, that all being said, don't know what the energy is that we'll have to work with today, but again, we're working with the Gilded Tarot today by Barbara Moore and Ciro Marchetti. Here we are. What do we have here? Oh, Knight of Wands. Some more wands. Wands are actions. So again, it's what are the actionable things that I need to be, what are the things I need to be taking action on? The Knight of Wands is the one of the court cards that come in after the Ten of Wands. So now you are wanting to take some action on some things, and this may be coming from you. This may be coming from somebody around you. This may be the Knight of Wands can be an in here today, gone tomorrow kind of energy. So you bring in that Queen of Swords energy a little bit. Remember her, how she was all very much around. She had a lot of red. He's red, 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 and more red, but she had a lot of blue. And so we want to be listening really carefully, as well, as we, in order, use listening. And I'm looking out at the reservoir here, and the water is very blue. Just taking in, what we don't need to act on everything right away and immediately. So things may feel like we need to act on them very quickly, but we want to try to make this more of a sustainable night, so that can, kind of try to pull in his counterpart, the Knight of Pentacles. So we're acting on the passions that are appropriate for us. We're acting on what our feelings are informing us, but the actionable things sometimes can be just having a conversation and being willing to allow the conversation to be enough, rather than going full bore. Really take, he's got to go through a lot of stuff, and on a horse, you can't just go willy-nilly. And actually, I saw this horse, and I'll post this picture of a horse on my way back from an appointment earlier. So horses are definitely that horse energy, the freedom of your own, being fearless in our actions, can be enough of an action. Having a fearless conversation can be enough and being very truthful and being upfront with the way that we feel can be enough of a knight gesture, of a courageous gesture. We don't have to go, doing these really grand gestures, these really profound moves, like on the fly. Although the feeling might be, with all of these planets, we've still got a lot of planets in Aries. The feeling may be that we do need to take action more quickly than is warranted. But we do need to be ready to act. Sometimes, when we drag our heels, like sometimes we need that Knight of Wands to come in because we're dragging our heels. And if we're dragging our heels, then perhaps maybe we should take a look a little bit about why that is. Like, what is the fear here? And sometimes being fearless, being courageous, is being willing to just really look at ourselves and be like, well, what is it that I fear? What's actually here? There was the 6-bullet question of, one of the things was, if I do this, what will it, if I act in this way, what will it affect? If I feel this way, what it will affect? What am I actually fearing? What's making me feel unsafe? Sometimes looking at ourselves, and again, that Queen of Swords, very, I'll write them down in the commentary. The Queen of Swords can help us look at things in a very loving and practical way, and to help us listen and gain the insights that we need. The Hermit, yeah. So again, taking time to be in meditation, to be willing to be in what may feel, there may be a lot of uncertainty. I apologize. I've got apologizing, but I have a little bird nest and they've got some babies, so that's what we hear a lot of today. But the Hermit is here to also work with it, to pair up with our Knight, to give us that, again, that fearless look might be to shine the light on these interior things that maybe do hold us back. Maybe they hold us back because we act too quickly, and then we end up self-sabotaging in ways, and not even listening enough to ourselves to really get our own, make sure that our own values and our own needs are met in situations, speaking up to our own needs and learning about them by being introspective into self before taking, actionable, steps that sometimes can be a little difficult to back out of. A lot of the times, so many of us are people pleasers, right? And we want to make everything cool and good, right? But we end up not really going into situations with our full heart because we're abandoning ourselves in the doing. So we don't want to abandon ourselves. We want to be shining the light. And he's also, look at the light glinting off his wand. He's definitely shining the light on something. And the Hermit is also here to continue to shine the light. Being courageous can be just saying, not right now. I need a moment. I need And you need to be able to take as many moments. You are allowed to take as many moments as you can. That's freedom. That's riding your horse well. That's, you know, the freedom of the horse. And just to speak up honestly rather than kind of be ducking weird and passive aggressive or things like that. Just I need to take a moment. There are some things that I'm not sure about that I need to consider in myself, and this is how I feel, and you know, just be upfront about things. Okay, another card coming. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. So when we do that, then we are in abundance. We are in that peacock. I see that peacock is here with her. And this is something, she makes things happen on the material plane. She nurtures things. This is self-nurturing. This is taking care of body, mind, and soul. Everything that she takes care of, if it matters to her, she's going to take the time to get it to where it's coming to its full fruition. And the only way that we can ever do that is if we're taking care of ourselves first. She knows how to take care of herself in any situation. She's financially astute. She knows exactly how much and what to invest in. And I see she's only carrying one pentacle. She's very focused. She's a very focused person. She's not going to be, you know, like running off like the King of Wands. She's going to invest on the things that are really, really important, and she's going to take action on the material plane. Pentacles are material. They're the 3D. They're bringing, you know, and the peacock nature, you know, peacocks are beautiful. So she's like an everyday version of the Empress. This is doing things on the everyday that make you feel beautiful, that, you know, that where you recognize your own value, where your value in any given situation is the only way that we're going to get other situations or other people to value us is if we value ourselves in a way to take time to stand up for ourselves, but standing up for ourselves doesn't have to be a brash, abrasive thing. It doesn't have to be noisy. It can be gentle and gracious. She's gentle and gracious. Let's see, we're at 11. I think we're gonna leave it at that. Yeah, gentle and gracious ways to treat ourselves with love and to bring the things that we love to the most beautiful place possible. We have that opportunity. We're at that 0 point. We're at the beginning of a new cycle. What great cards to help us make the most of today's energy. Hermit card's also the card of Virgo, and the moon is in Virgo today. So taking Dorothy Morgan, again, one of the astrologers, said about, I saw a clip from her about utilizing the moon in Virgo is just really luxuriating and loving the little things, your best and most beautiful life in the now, not in, let's not be too future forward. Let's focus in on what we love now. Again, I'm going to leave it at that. If you like, share, subscribe, this gets this message out to and comment to wherever it needs to go without doing much of anything. You can also share it directly to somebody who you think might need to hear it, no matter what day of the week it is. And it's on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you want your own message, direct message me on any of those platforms. All right, I love you. Have a great day.